Today we have Mike Adams, Mike Pop Adams, as he likes to be called. He's a 9-year NFL veteran. He's currently playing with the Denver Broncos. Um, Mike has a great story. Mike is from Paterson, New Jersey, home to obviously Mike Adams, Gerald Hayes, and I guess Victor Cruz. Among he could probably tell us other cats as well. Mike has a great story. It seems to me, from what I've seen about just his career and what I've researched about him, all he's done is just adapt and overcome, and he's sitting in a place right now where he's reaching out and helping others in a way that I feel is awesome and needs to be a story that needs to be told. So, let's start from the beginning, Mike. When did you first realize that, hey, you know what? This football thing might be big. I'm kind of good at it. What can I do with this football thing?
Well, actually, I kind of realized it in high school. It was going on my senior year, and I had left the team. I had quit the team my before the first game because I felt as though they wasn't giving me the ball, and I wanted the ball. And,
okay.
Being stubborn, then I ended up coming back, and then one thing happened. One thing led to another. I was in the front page of the newspaper. About 3 weeks later, I was in the front page of the paper catching a touchdown pass.
Okay.
And from that day on, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew, like, I can be something special, and I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Okay. Now, let's talk about Paterson, New Jersey. Let's talk about Silk City, as they call it. What is it like in Paterson, New Jersey? Okay, what was it like for you? Not just what was it like. What was it like for you? What did you see? What did you not want to be like? What was it like growing up as a kid?
It's rough. It was rough. And not to compare stories to anyone else, because this is what I went through, and other people, circumstances, that's what they go through, and they feel like it's it was rough. And one thing you did see a lot of is the liquor store stayed open until about 4 in the morning. I lived in a so-called ghetto, and I lived right across the street from the liquor store. We stayed open until about 3, 4 in the morning. You just hear bottles breaking, cars spinning out, gunshots. You hear bad drug deals going bad, fighting, a lot of violence. See a lot of foreclosed houses in the neighborhood, and that was the thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
And you wasn't doing that. You was considered either a punk or not with the in crowd. If you wasn't selling drugs, if you wasn't in the gang, if you wasn't doing something that wasn't positive, you was considered one of those guys. And just thinking back, and sometimes I think back and like, we didn't even have a community center where we can go and play basketball or go somewhere where we can get on a computer. It wasn't nothing like that. It was outside in the streets, or because it wasn't no backyard really.
Mm-hmm.
So it was outside in the streets with everybody else, running the streets, playing football in the streets, or you probably was in the house, or you probably wasn't doing nothing. That's the gist of it I get from it, and I tip my hat off to all the successful people that came out of Patterson, because it was definitely it still is a tough city to grow up in.
Now, hearing all that, I know for me, one of the good things that you said is it's all relative, depending on what hood or what city that you come from, you have different struggles that, it's all the same, but it's all relative. What motivated you? I know for me, me and my brothers, we'd play Monday Night Football would come on, we'd play football in our socks trying to tackle each other, and I was like, man, I want to be like those guys when I grew up. What motivated you to say, hey, you know what? I need to start doing I need to take certain things seriously. Or I don't want to be like, the one dude on the corner. Did anything like that motivate you?
Yeah. All of the above, actually. It was guys out there that when I was in grammar school, I was in like 7th, 8th grade, and they was out in the corner, they was selling drugs, and they was getting money. They had nice cars, nice everything, sneakers, clothes, everything. They had the women. It seemed like they had it all. And then when I got to high school, they were doing the same thing in the same spot. And then when I got to college, they were doing the same thing in the same spot. So I got to the point where I was like, I can't be 45, 50 years old on a corner still trying to sell drugs, or 45, 50 years old still like getting drunk on the corner with my boys. I just couldn't see myself doing any of that. And when you're young, that's what I wanted. And the crew I ran with, that's what we wanted. We wanted that car that he drove. We wanted that. We wanted those sneakers, those clothes that he had on. We wanted that. So we indulged in a lot of negativity, and I'm not proud of it. But I know doing all that stuff between stealing cars and selling drugs, all that stuff, it molded me and shaped me to who I am right now.
Okay. Now, you talked about high school. What was it like? I don't know how heavily you were recruited, but why did you choose University of Delaware, and what was your experience transitioning from Patterson to Delaware?
Well, first off, high school was rough because my mom and my grandmother who raised me, they didn't have much, so that's when all my bad antics came about, that's when the stealing cars and the drugs, all that came about because of the high school, the thing to fit in, you try to be cool and you try to do certain things that, won't leave you on the outside looking in, because the clothes that I wore, it wasn't the most popular clothes. It wasn't the sneakers I wore, wasn't the most popular sneakers. And being in an environment that we was in, that like we were motivated to get that stuff because everybody else had it. We didn't know how their parents got it to them, but we knew they came to school dressed up with that stuff, with the new Jordans, the new Air Force Ones, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made high school tough, paying for my own prom. Paying my own class dues, struggling to get that money, just stuff like that. And on my way to college, once I was being recruited to go to college, I was being recruited by a lot of 1A schools, Rutgers, Pittsburgh, Oklahoma, but everybody was saying I was too small, so I ended up going to University of Delaware. My mom said it didn't matter where I go, I was there to get an education first anyway. But going to University of Delaware, I was shell shocked. It was a culture shock. I'm sorry, it was a culture shock to me. I never been around that many white people in my life, Caucasian people in my life. And it was like after the first 2 weeks, I wanted to come home. I was gonna come home, and when I came, and I ended up did coming home after football. We had a little break. I ended up coming home and I seen the same people doing the same thing. I mean, the same people doing the same thing, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here.
Okay. Now, like you were saying, how you were just, it was basically out of your comfort zone, going to college, going to see a lot of Caucasian white people for the first time. I read that you struggle with doubt. Like, do I belong? Should I be here? How did you transition from that? Obviously, like you said, you saw the same cats on the block doing the same thing. You said, you know what, I got to get out of here. how did you make that easier for you? Or maybe it wasn't easy. You tell me. Saying, "Hey, I'm at Delaware. This is where I need to make it happen." How did you transition from that doubt, that initial doubt and uncomfortableness, to a place now where you're like, "Hey, you know what? I can find a way. I can do this."
I think what helped me out. I think what helped me out most. Huh?
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
All right, here. My fault. I think what helped me out most was the fact that it was a couple people in my like situation that was there. Leon Clark from Brooklyn. He went to Canarsie High School, and when I heard his story, how he damn near raised himself. Like his mom had to go to Jamaica, and his mom came back, left him home alone in high school. You know, left him alone for weeks at a time. He had to take care of himself. Weeks at a time because she had to work to pay the bills. And when she was a nanny, she was like a sleeping nanny. Mm-hmm. And she had to do that just to make ends.
You're still there?
And then my other boy, Ricardo Walker, and I hello, you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. It came back.
Hello? Oh. And I seen my boy Ricardo Walker and his brother was in and out of trouble, and I related, them guys, they related to me, and we was all in college, and we looked at it like, you know, we can be trendsetters, we can set the trend, we can set the tone for our family to be, and we can make a difference, you know, and connect, and to this day, those are my best friends. You know, and he was my roommates in college, and one of them is a principal in Delaware, and the other one is a school teacher in Newark, New Jersey. And I'm just so proud of them because, you know, we had similar situations where we had to come out of and be strong and be men. We were forced to be men earlier than we should have been, you know. Mm-hmm. And my father wasn't around. His father wasn't around. So Leon Clark's father wasn't around. So it was tough.
Okay. Now, obviously you can play ball. I mean, let's talk about that a little bit.
I can play a little bit.
You can play ball a lot. Let's just keep it real. What was it like winning a national championship at Delaware? What was it like? I mean, obviously to go from a place where you don't even know if you want to even stay there, you know, go to school there, to actually sticking it out and thriving and winning a champ. I don't care what level, where you are. If you win a championship, I don't care what it is, outside of, you know, youth sports, younger sports, when you win a championship, you've done something. What did that feel like winning that at Delaware?
I think it's a lot of weight on my shoulder. It felt like I was pressured. I was under pressure. You know, even though I wasn't, you know, I felt like I was under pressure. I felt like, you know, because I was the captain of that 03 season, and I just felt obligated to the guys. I just felt like I needed to, you know, make plays when I needed to be and lead by example. And it was crazy because my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and she wanted to come to the game so bad, and she couldn't make it. But and that's the only thing I can remember thinking about. I could just remember thinking about grabbing the championship trophy and just holding it so tight, and just pointing up at my mom and just like, you know, we did it, you know.
Now, speaking of your mom, how did How did it go? I mean, obviously you graduated and your mom was fighting cancer. How did that go from winning a championship to the end of your U of D? Is it U of D or is it just, let's just say Delaware? I mean, how did that go and finishing up at Delaware?
It was tough because, you know, I fought through it, and I'm trying to train and go through stuff and still focus and think about my mom. But I knew at that point I really had to be a man and step up and be a man. And I think that's one of the things that, and I realized what I really wanted to do. You know, I remember the coach talking to the coach, one of the wide receiver coaches at the University of Delaware, and I remember him just telling me, "Nah, you'll never make it. Too small. I coached better players in Wyoming, and you're too small. You're not fast enough, and you're not strong enough. There's no way you'll make it. So you might as well get that out your head." That stuck with me. And knowing that my mom had cancer, and I knew I had my mind focused and set on what I wanted to do, it was no way I was gonna fail. And when my mom passed on May 26th, I felt like I didn't want to, because the graduation was like a day later. It was like, I think we graduated on the 27th. You get to walk from college. And I remember not wanting to walk. I just didn't feel like it. I just wanted to stay home and just, you know, I just wanted to be by myself. Then I realized, you know, I'm going to be the first one to graduate college. I'm going to be the first one to do it. And I ended up doing it. I walked across the stage, and it was one of the happiest moments of my life, you know, and I know she was proud of me when I did that. And I just sucked it up and started to be a man and go ahead and handle that and get that paper that I worked so hard for my whole college career.
I bet. Now, you've obviously you've always been very, very motivated. So I mean, I know you know that wide receiver coach's name. I know you know where, if he's still coaching or wherever he's still at. Now, you're preparing for the draft. What is that like? You know, you know, not only are you preparing for yourself, but like you said, you're the first one to go to college in your family. You have this goal in your mind, in your heart. Let's be honest, it's in your heart. Hey, you know what? I want to do this football thing to the fullest, and you're doing it also for your mom. Now, going into the whole draft process, what were you thinking about? What was that like? Because I mean, you're at a point where you know what your so-called deficiencies are. Were you thinking about them, or did you just say, you know what, whatever happens, but I'm gonna give this everything I got?
Actually, I wasn't thinking about it because at that point, it's April. At that point, my mom was laying bedside, you know, with cancer. So I wasn't thinking about any of them at all. I was realistic, though. I understood that I might not get drafted, and if I did get drafted, it would have been a 6th or 7th round. And but I knew I was gonna get a shot, you know. And that's all I wanted. That's all I asked for. Just give me a chance. Just give me a chance. And I got that chance, and I just took advantage of the opportunity. And, you know, in life, that's all some people need, is the chance. Some people get that chance to take advantage of it. Some people get that chance and just say, I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. But I took that opportunity to, you know, take full advantage of what I wanted to do.
Okay. Now, the Niners picked you up, went undrafted. What was that like? Because obviously, I mean, when you play college ball, that's college ball. What some people don't really understand is that when you prepare for college ball, that's one thing. When you prepare to be in the league, what's that like? I mean, we know how it is on Sundays, how it's faster, how the dimensions of the field and the hash marks are different. this, that, and the other. From a player's perspective, how was that transition for you?
You know, when you think about it, you think about the NFL, we're talking about the best people from all around the world. I mean, we're talking about the world. We're talking about that small college in Iowa that no one ever heard of. That a kid that runs a 4.2 and can jump as high and fast as you is trying out as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're talking about all your favorite players that you used to watch from Florida State back in the day, P. Awards and all them guys. We're talking about everybody in the world. So one thing my boy did tell me, one thing that I did realize is that when you at this level, you got to step your game up. You got to step your game up. From the transition from high school to college is fast, but the transition from college to the NFL, everybody run a 4.3.
Mm-hmm.
In college, only like 5-6 people running, maybe. In high school, only one person on the team running. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to the NFL, everybody run 4.3. Everybody run 4.5. So you have to understand. You have to understand like the what you need to do and how hard and how you need to work to get what you want. And my mentality when I got there was we had a first round pick, wide receiver Rashad Woods.
Oh, wow.
I made sure.
Oklahoma State, yes, I remember. He went to Oklahoma State. They were high. I remember. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I made sure I went against him every day I could. Every day. Because I wasn't getting any reps on defense.
Yeah.
They wasn't all they saw was my individual work and one-on-one. One-on-ones came, I knew it. I'm like, oh, time to earn some money. I went right to him. I'm going, and I was sticking the best receivers. I wanted the best. I didn't want to stick rookies. No, I wanted to go for the best. I want these coaches to see me. I want these coaches to know and understand that I'm here. I'm here for the long run. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember Terrell Jones. T. Jones. He had a conditioning test. The conditioning test was called a beat test. I finished second. I had a whole team. The whole team dropped out, and I'm still running. Me and this other kid, PJ Fleck. We just running in shape. And that's one thing my trainer did tell me. He said, whatever you do, just don't be out of shape. Don't be out of shape because you can control that. You can control being in shape. You can't control whatever. If they're going to cut you, they're going to cut you because of a numbers game. They're going to cut you. They don't ever get cut because you're not in shape or you don't know what you're doing. Everything else is out of your hands. You can control that. So if you put that effort into that, and you know you gave your all, you knew what you was doing, and you know you was in shape, and you get released, you gotta be content, you know?
Man, those are some deep words right there. That I don't know if everybody's gonna get. What you control is what you should hold on to. You can't hold on to, the numbers part of it. If you're the 8th DB or the 4th wide receiver or whatever, and there's other, you can't always control that. What you do control though is your knowledge of what you're supposed to be doing and you being in shape, which is key. Now, I definitely want to get to your foundation really quick, but Terrell told me a story. I heard this story about the T-shirt company that you. Well, I'll let you tell it because I think this is. He told it to me the first time. I was like, wait, say that again because that doesn't sound normal. So I'll let you tell the story.
Well, every year I throw a free football camp for the kids, and I just went to this lady one day and I wanted to buy some T-shirts. And she said she was retired. And once she said she was retired, I'm like, retired? And I'm looking around and in the office, and I see tables, I see desks, I see computers, I see I see the oven. I seen screens. I seen flash drives. I seen six t-shirt changes. I seen everything you needed to start a business. And I made an offer just to go in right now and just take it. And it was a risk, but I got it for dirt cheap. And it helped her out. Now she didn't have to move, and I didn't have to pay $3 for some t-shirts anymore.
Win-win.
Yeah, win-win situation. So I ended up linking up with my boy. His name Chris Greer. It's a round-the-clock screen print. Round-the-clock.com. Round-the-clock screen print. ATCscreenprinting.com actually. And I linked up with him, and then we just started working towards it. We had goals, and then he had similar goals. He's been doing it. He's been doing it for about 15 years himself. So having somebody with the knowledge of it helps huge. So now we doing real well. We getting schools and big companies, so it's fun. It's fun.
So it's safe to say that you got your return on your investment.
Absolutely.
Oh wow. Okay, now let's hear about your foundation, Rising Stars. From what I've researched about it, I wish more guys would approach. I don't want to call it charity because that makes it impersonal. Like I wish more guys would approach the kids like when they were kids, But go ahead. Let me let you tell the story.
Well, Rising Stars is something that me and my partner Gerald Hayes, played for the Arizona Cardinals, started when we first got in the league. And we knew we wanted to do it because there was nothing in Patterson. Like I said previously, we have a community center. No one ever came to the neighborhood to clean up a park. The park's still filthy, and no one did anything to help us out. And it seemed like we was just hopeless. And we just made it a point to create a foundation. And the motto was reaching back while moving forward. So we're gonna keep going. If we're going to reach back for you, you got to come with us. That's the whole model. That's where we get it from. And we, the mission is to one day get a community center up and going, but we focus on the kids in the community. We do free football camp. We gave away 1,200 backpacks last year. The year before that, we gave away 1,500 backpacks. The first 100 kids get their hair cut. And then the females get their hair done. We do right now. We getting honored tomorrow. This Saturday at the HH Gold Cup. Rising Stars, we're gonna get honored there. We just do so much in the community because it's hard, man. You try to keep the kids focused. You try to let the kids know that, there is a way out, and let them see something different. I bring different athletes to the camp. Brady Quinn came, Josh Ridge came, Torrey Cox, Jamie Elliott, a lot of different guys. Victor Cruz come every year. Marcel Schitt, Gerald Hayes. These are the guys, Kyle Wilson from the Jets. These guys that show up every year to support, and I tip my hat off to them because, it's rough for the kids, because they turn it into games. They turn to games for help and guidance, which is not the right thing to do.
That's great. Well, definitely at the end of this, we'll get all the website and phone information, contact information to either donate to your charity, your foundation, or to just find out more information as well. Also, one last thing, you took was it sponsored by the NFL, a franchising business seminar? Was it last week or late last month in April?
Oh, the franchise seminar that was last week.
How was that? Tell me about that.
Actually, I couldn't make it. My uncle passed away, and I couldn't make it down. But they sent me literature and they sent me things so I could just keep up with it. And but me and my boy Shawntae Spencer, we working on a lot of things, and we working on trying to get a wing stop going. And that's why it was important for me to go to this thing, but unfortunately I couldn't make it out. And we're looking at getting the wing stop, and he got an app going called Metro Me. Download that app. It's a great app. I mean, it has concierge where you can just call them and tell them what you want to do. So I love that part about it. You can fire your personal assistant and just call Metro Me. And yeah, we got a lot of things going. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great year.
Okay. Now, tell the audience all the places where to find you. Twitter, website. You let me know. How can we find out more about what Mike Adams, what Pops is up to?
Well, you can. I don't have a Facebook. I should have one though, but
hey, I don't have one either.
Right now on Twitter is MDOT Adams 20. So get at me there. And if you're looking for some T-shirts, if you're looking for your family reunion, for your little football camp, or anything, your church, your restaurant, you need some embroidery done, you can go to www.atcprinting.com, or you can just call 973-423-3000. That's the direct line. So we'll get you exactly what you want, what you need.
Okay. Now, I just encourage everybody listening out here, if anything that Mike has said today, whether it was just his upbringing or, him getting through college and, him fighting with his mom being sick and making it to the league or whatever, and that's touched you, that's inspired you, reach out to him on Twitter. Hit him up. Say, hey, Mike, I really appreciate what you shared. That never underestimate the power of thanking somebody for even the smallest of things. Now, before we go, is there anything else that you're working on? I know you got big things, big business coming down the pipes here. Is it just OTA time for the most part coming up here shortly?
Nah, it's really the off-season workouts. We just training, just working out, lifting weights. OTAs got to start about 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll be ready to roll.
Okay. Well, Mike, I just want to thank you for doing the interview. I learned a lot. One of the things that you kept saying was, cats doing the same thing or keep doing the same thing. And I was like, you know what? I never looked at it like that, but I never wanted to do the same thing from the dudes from the hood. So that personally, that touched me. But I appreciate you coming on, and we'll be talking soon again, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, Dave. Thanks for having me.
All right.
All right, bro. Later.